Welcome back, everyone. I am Error, and I'm ready to play some more Dark Souls. We just beat Capra Demon, and we are going to be going down to the depths. This area definitely has some tricks to it, but it's really not too terribly difficult once you know what you're doing. So, all right. So, don't fall for this. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. There are more coming behind me. Large soul of an aimless soldier. We got this sneaky guy hiding over here. We'll deal with him in a minute. I just want to make sure that I've got all these pests out of here. They don't do a lot of damage, but if they swarm you, they can be very annoying. Come on. I see you down there. There's a guy hiding behind this pillar over here too. Yep, there he is. Alright, so now don't go down these steps over here just yet. There are some dogs and some bigger enemies that we're going to try to lure up to where we are right now. Because they all come at us at the same time, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult. Imagine that, Dark Souls being difficult. So, this is one of the areas where it's real nice to have a bow. Because you can just aggro this guy, shoot him in the head, and then he will usually run up those stairs and come try to get you. As you can see, he's got like a big butcher's cleaver or something. Okay, he's done. He's just going to try to run at where I am instead of taking the path to get to where I am. I really just want him over here so I can fight him. Is he smart enough to do that? Where'd he go? Just underneath me right now. There's a dog waiting right there, too. Out of the way. Did he just walk back to his spot? No? Where'd he go? I hate it when that happens. We've got a somewhat scary enemy, rather large enemy, for that matter, and they just disappeared. Well, might as well aggro this other dog. Might just have to go down there and fight him. Yeah, good job, buddy. Enemy AI in this is not that great. Alright, so the dogs are down. Hasn't wandered back to his spot yet. He'll eventually get bored and walk back over there. For now, I have no idea where he went. We're just going to go down there and take a look-see. There he is. We killed both of the dogs, so we'll be okay. A couple of backstabs in, and this should be over pretty quick. Alright, so he's down. He gives us a sack. We have a chest here. And we get a large ember, which is a really useful item. We can give that to the blacksmith, and they'll be able to upgrade our weapons from, I believe, +5 to +10 now. A sneaky skeleton hiding over there. So again, we're going to use our bow to just sort of lure everybody out. Dog. Pretty sure there is at least one more dog and maybe one more undead down there. Let's find out. Yeah, there's that dog. Should hit him. Yep. Alright. Now don't forget, there's that second butcher that is hiding up in the rafters. I don't know how he got up there, but you definitely don't want him doing a plunge attack or a backstab on you. So we can come right over here. One right in the face, then it'll fall down. And I don't know if he actually knows how to get anywhere. I think we're probably going to have to hunt him down like we did the other guy, but the important thing is we got the ads out of the way first. Fighting a big enemy in this game is not nearly as bad, as long as you don't also have to fight little enemies at the same time. Or another big enemy for that matter. More on that later. Alright, I think we've got all of the enemies out of here except for that butcher. Our butcher, I don't want to fight him in this water. That seems like a terrible idea. So let's do this. Wow, he doesn't take very much off my shield. No problem. Go. Those guys don't respawn, so don't have to worry about them anymore. Can't remember if there are more enemies up here. There might be. No, I don't think so. So in here...
Yes, you. Here, over here.
Got this guy trapped in a barrel. I don't think there's anything else in the other barrels, but it's fun to smash them.
Being a supper without you. Being eaten alive. I shudder to think.
So this is the first pyromancy vendor that we find. He will be at Firelink Shrine, and he will give us the ability to buy pyromancy spells, which I think we're going to want. The cool thing about pyromancy spells is you don't have to level your intelligence like you do with sorceries. You get like a pyromancer, I think it's called a pyromancer glove or pyromancer something. I don't remember what it's called, but you actually level that item up, and how leveled that item is determines the strength of your spells. So instead of putting points into your stats, you spend souls on upgrading your item. So it's actually pretty cool. All right, now there are these. You can kind of see it up there, moving around a little bit. There are these slime enemies in here that are like not impervious, but like really, really strong against physical attacks. Like it's really, really hard to get anything accomplished with physical attacks, especially if you're getting attacked by a skeleton. Anyway, come on up here, buddy. Okay. Clusterfuck. Okay, there we go. So for these slimes, if you've got magic, that's a great way to deal with them. Otherwise, you might have to use the occasional firebomb. So I hope you've been saving those up. If you go and get that soul without taking care of him, he'll drop in your head and deal a ton of damage. It's not good for anybody involved. So they'll be dropping from the ceiling pretty much throughout this entire level. It's great. It's not annoying at all, I promise. All right, and as you can see, there are a ton of them all along the ceiling. I'm gonna deal with this guy with the bow. Just lure him over here. I don't feel like fighting him while I'm trying to dodge those things. Really? One of these guys backstep. Alright. I don't feel like wasting fire bombs. I don't have any magic. I'm gonna run, and I should be able to make it. Oh, yep. See, that's what happens when they land on you. It's not so great. You can see, lots of damage, and it'll deal more if your armor sucks. So, roll through. If you have the master key, you can open this, and it's really good if you got it, because you got a bonfire. We're absolutely going to use that bonfire and level up a little bit here. Alright, so we've got our strength to 20, which is the prerequisite for our knight sword. Now we have to work on our dex a little bit. We have to get that to 18. And as soon as we can hit 18, we will be able to wield our black knight sword. Let's take a look here. We've got a lot of souls. We're just going to use these and see how far we get. I don't think I need to use them. Oops. I just need to use one more of them. And then the rest I'm going to keep because I don't think they add up to a full level. Well, maybe they would. I don't know. We'll use them sometime later. They're not going anywhere anyway. So, I don't know if we can actually sneak up on this guy anymore, since we're all clunky with our armor, but we can try. Yep, we can. Alright. So we want to go down this way. And this is a shortcut that we can't use yet, I don't think. Doesn't open from this side. There's this giant rat in here. We'll have to fight him in a minute, so that's cool. But that shortcut is a very good thing to be aware of, because we will be using that like crazy. Or, I guess we'll only be using it like crazy if we can't beat the boss in the first try. I think we'll be able to beat the boss in the first try, but just in case you can't. There you go. Alright, bunch of rats here. If you want to farm some humanities, that's where to do it. You just go back to the bonfire, rinse, repeat. There will be rats in boxes, so be aware of that. There will also be rats that try to lure you into places where there will be more rats. There's our big rat again. Alright, sewer chamber key. I think that is the key that you can use to unlock the bonfire room if you didn't have the master key. So, if you don't have the master key, go back and save right now at the bonfire, because this area is actually pretty rough. Alright, you don't want to fall down those holes. Just trust me if you don't. It's bad. So you want to walk very carefully in this area, and you want to make sure you've got your brightness cranked all the way up. Because it's very easy to not watch where you're going and fall into one of these things. Now, I think actually at this point it's best to backtrack. Now that I'm thinking about it. I'll show you why. I think through that fog door is that giant rat. And I don't know, it's not really that tough, but there's a much easier way to fight him. does involve backtracking a little bit, so we're going to have to kill some of these hands in there, but fight the slimes. Alright. So if I run, I think I can make it, because I think they drop from the other way. They sort of cascade down. And as long as we don't go into that alcove where that item is, we can just go right up the stairs again. Now we will have to deal with all of the enemies in this room. So the dogs and the undead. But I mean, you know, it's really not that big of a deal. These aren't hard enemies in here. And the butchers don't respawn. I still like to take my time with this pit. Just because your movement speed is slowed, and when you're trying to fight enemies in sludge, especially fast enemies like these dogs, it really sucks to have your movement speed slowed. Alright, so we got that one. Where's the other dog? I know there's another one in here. There he is. I think I can get him with the bow from here. Yep. There we go. And I think that's all the enemies down here in the pit, so we just kind of have to wade through, and I think there's 2 more dogs up here, but I think we can take them at the same time. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Boy, squirrely. Is there another one? I thought there was another one. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter. So if you knock these barrels down, you can jump down this hole into this pile of skulls, and you're now above the rat. And you can either do a plunge attack on him and do a ton of damage, or you can just shoot arrows at him until he dies. I think the arrow way is my personal favorite because there is 0 margin of error. He will just stand there and let you shoot him. He doesn't have any attacks that will get up here as far as I know. If you miss him with a plunge attack, then you have to fight him the regular way, and I just don't feel like doing that. So just shoot about, 20 arrows into his head or whatever. I don't know if it's 20, but it's that many. However many that many was. Just shoot arrows into his head until he's dead. On this side. There is a pretty good item on the other side, though, so let's go into that. Yeah, there it is. That's the spider shield, so that gives you poison resist, which, especially in one of the areas we're going to be coming up on, is really useful. And we've got some souls around here, just pick them up. This area is where we just were, where I said be careful not to fall through the floor. You can go back in there and explore if you want to, but I don't think there's anything really crucial in there. You run the risk of falling through the floor, which can be absolutely catastrophic. Just trust me. The enemies that are down there, we're going to have to fight the legit way in a minute. But if they can sneak up on you like they do when you fall through the floor, it's really bad. Now, it seems like a bad idea to go down here, but that's what we're about to do. As far as I know, there's no way to get all the way. Just have to go down. And these frog enemies, these are the ones that they look really stupid, but they're bad news. Trust me. They will spray out these clouds at you, and it will put on the petrify effect. Now, in normal RPGs and things like that, when you get petrified, you just die, and that does still happen in this game, believe me. But what also happens to you if you get petrified in Dark Souls is when you respawn at your bonfire, you have half of your health. It's just your health bar is cut in half. And that's permanent until you get cleansed. Now, in order to get cleansed, there's two places that I know of. One is the guy on top of the bell tower, and the other is that guy in the gate that sells you the poison cure things. And anyway, it's either 3,000 or 6,000 depending on where you go. It's really brutal. Right? I think that's where we have to go. There are a couple of items in here that I'm going to show you how to get. And hopefully we don't get cursed in the process, because it's really a pain in the butt. Especially because we have a boss fight coming up, and yeah, I mean, you can definitely fight the boss cursed. I've done it before, but it's rough. And as you can see, these black glass sculptures, those are actually other players that have died by curse that are currently playing. So that's pretty cool. Alright. Oh, no, if we can kill these guys. Yep. You can see they shoot out these big clouds. Thankfully, they're not that difficult. They're kind of weak. I don't know if I can actually get through it. Nope. I think we're going to have to fight that guy the real way. Now you want to be aggressive with these guys, because if you let them attack you, they're going to spray you with their poison cloud or whatever it is, and it's really not good. Trust me, you don't want it to happen to you. And that guy is there to lure you, because there's I think there's 3 or 4 of them down in the pit. And yeah, you don't want to go to the pit. Go, get out, get away. Oh boy. There we go. Alright. So he's taken care of. Yeah, as you can see, a bunch of guys down there. I'm just going to whip some fire bombs down there and see if that will accomplish what I want it to accomplish. I don't know if there's one down there too. I think there might be. Ooh, okay. I don't know if you can reach me up here, but I don't want to take any risks. Firebomb will kill him too. Oh yeah, there's a bunch down there too. Yes, regular firebombs work on them too, so take advantage of that. I don't know what Eye of Death is. Interesting. So just take your time, go through this area very carefully. Oh boy. Getting cursed really sucks, so do what you have to do to avoid fights and pick them off from a distance if you can. Because again, if you do get cursed or petrified or whatever the term is, you're almost certainly going to have to fight the boss that way. I mean, if you really, if you really put your mind to it, you can backtrack and go all the way back to the cathedral, ideally, and heal the curse, and then come all the way back. But it's a long road. It's not worth going all the way back. Now I think I've killed them all. There might still be one. Just check your corners. Nope. Okay. We got the Ring of the Evil Eye. I believe what that ring does is every time you kill an enemy, you get a small amount of health back. Some people really like it. I've never really found too much use for it, so I don't know. I'm not going to do too much. And then we did see that there was the one soul across the edge, so to get that, you want to run up in here and then immediately jump. Try to get that before you take out those frogs down there. You'll fall down and they'll all just be on you immediately, and you will almost certainly get petrified. So, anyway. Well, again, I don't think you have to do any of this. The ring's pretty decent. Other than that, there's not really anything else in here that you have to worry about too much. So, whatever you want to do, come in here, don't come in here. But if you want to go in there and get the items, that's the best way to do it. Alright, so now that we've taken all of those enemies out, we can go up here. The dead rat, right? Yeah. Okay. And there's going to be slimes in this room too, so just watch out. We want to go up this staircase first, though. Because up this staircase gets us to that shortcut that I mentioned. So if you do die at the boss, you can just come right back here. No worries. Just straight shot to the boss, basically. There's a couple of rats in here, and there's some slimes, and there's a vendor. I don't think he really has anything that we desperately need, but he is there. And this is the door to Blight Town. I happen to think that there is a better way to get to Blight Town, so I usually don't go that way. But what we're doing here is fighting a boss to get a key to go through that door. If you don't currently have the master key, that's the way you're going to have to go. If you've got the master key, we don't really have to do any of this, but I figured I would at least show you what to do, so you know where to go. Also, the boss in here is actually kind of fun, I think. So, all right, no, that's there. I know there's an item or two in here. I thought one was there, but I guess not. All right, he's just gonna follow us forever if he can. So let's take him. No, I don't think it's over here. I think it's one more floor down. But let me just do it. Shooting at us? Like something shooting soul arrows at us. So that'll be frustrating. That's not where it is. I know there's one over here. Heavy crossbow, heavy bolts. Not a big fan of crossbows in this game, but if you are, there's one for free. Alright, heal up. I think it's probably worth dropping down to fast roll for this boss fight. So let me do some math here real quick. No, you know what? I think we're going to be okay if we wear all of our gear. We can come back and do it again if we need to. So, as you can see, absolutely huge arena to fight this boss in. Aw, it's just a little dragon. Nope, it's a big dragon. Really big dragon. So this is the first big boss that we fight, in terms of size. It's got a pretty easy pattern to follow, though, so it's generally not too terribly difficult. It just seems really intimidating, so don't get scared by it. You'll be able to beat this probably pretty easily. Alright, so the pattern, he will drop down like that, and then he will usually charge straight ahead. When he does that, you don't even want to bump against him, because a lot of times even if you just bump against him, he will hurt you. Why the hell is there a spellcaster up there? That's super annoying. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So, I know why there's a spellcaster over there. We didn't kill him. Alright. Yep. That's bad news. Spellcaster is really distracting me. I think we can do it with the spellcaster there. We'll at least try. That's all we can do, right? We didn't kindle that bonfire. Oh well. Alright, so now that we have our shortcut, we can just come downstairs, run through this room. Hopefully the rat doesn't get in your way, but if he does, kill him. There was one area of this level that we skipped, and that's where the spellcaster was. I didn't realize that he would shoot for fighting this boss. So, I don't know. We might have to go back and take him out. I'm going to try one more time, and then I'll try to go deal with him. Alright. So anyway, the pattern that this boss will go into is, as I said, he will do that, and then he will usually run forward, at which point stay out of his way. And then double hand your weapon. And I usually attack the tail first, because you can cut the tail off. And that saves you a lot of grief. That tail whip that he does is probably the most dangerous attack that he has. So, alright. Roll around to the side. Alright, those soul arrows aren't really doing a ton of damage to us. I'm not really worried about it. As long as we get this tail off. One more. Come on. Nope. Shoot. Alright. I'm actually really surprised we haven't knocked the tail off yet. That thing usually comes off pretty easily. Oh boy. Heal. out for the tail whip. I think the boss's biggest advantage, other than the tail attack, is the fact that he just has so much hit points, so many hit points. But I don't think we're actually hitting the tail. I think we have to concentrate on the tail. We have to go down a little bit further. So as you can see, it really is just a pattern. I mean, he's going to do the same thing over and over again. He has a couple of other attacks, but I mean, for the vast majority, what he's doing is all he does. There it is. And you get the special weapon for beating him. There he goes, he's doing his thing. Sometimes he will make like a vomiting motion, and he'll barf up a bunch of like ground stuff. That's really his only other dangerous attack, because it will destroy your weapon. So you don't really want that to happen. Once his tail's gone, I mean, there's really nothing he can do to you as long as you stay far enough back to not get crushed by him when he comes down like that. Stay away from the legs. If you bump into him even a little bit, it seems like he does a ton of damage to you. Like, knocks you sprawling and everything, so... Oh yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to do a vomit attack, but he didn't. Alright, this should take him out. I'm really embarrassed that I died once on this boss. This is probably one of the easiest bosses, if not just flat out easiest in the game. I'm so distracted by that sorcerer up there. I was not expecting him. Alright, you get the Blighttown key. Again, if you've got the master key, you didn't actually technically need to do that. But if you want to get into Blighttown the normal way, without cheating and using the master key, that's how you've got to do it. I thought there was one other item in here, but maybe not. As you can see, he gave us a ton of souls, so I mean, even though it was an easy boss, you get a pretty good reward for beating him. So, anyway, that is how you beat the Gaping Dragon and gain access to Blighttown. Ideally, you should go up there and kill that sorcerer before you attempt this, but as you can see, as long as you keep your focus, you don't necessarily have to. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out, make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.